Ready. Table
Wait,
method
it's
name with.
not going yet. Now it.
All right. I think it's live now. I have another awesome day with my kids. Ayakui.
Just wait for me.
Table method name with check. All right. I think we're live now. I have my son here helping me behind the cameras again. I'm doing a lot of mentorship training and youth development and leadership training here at Patrick's Point State Park. I'm an interpreter for the North Coast Redwoods District. I'm happy to be here today. It's a beautiful day uh, at Sumac Village. Today, my theme, my topic that I put up was interpretive integrity. And the discussion point is not afraid to correct mistakes. So no one's perfect. And the role as an interpreter is to bring the parks to people right now if we can't come to our parks, but we have a mission in our parks to create the wealth of information that's accurate and for our parks and the people that indigenous peoples and cultures that have always been here, that now our parks find their homes and their residence within Aboriginal territory. So last week I talked about some things on the canoe. And today I'm just going to briefly go back and correct some mistakes that I made in last week's interpretation. And I'm not afraid to do that. Like, I make mistakes. I've done that, and I apologize, and I will probably make more, and I apologize ahead of time. But one thing I am not afraid of is the conversation about how my interpretations are taken, the curriculum that's envelope within this experience, this engagement. And last week I said some things that were, one thing was very inaccurate, and then a couple things I feel like I need to clarify myself and apologize for saying it in that way. So today is about me trying to be the best I can possibly be for the people that are watching, who I appreciate so much. For the people that are engaged with our parks that come here, I appreciate you guys so much. We do, as a team in North Coast Redwoods District, appreciate our relationships and the fact that we are building a world together, and it takes work to do that. And sometimes it's hard work. Sometimes it's dirty work. It doesn't feel good. Sometimes it feels great. Sometimes it's beautiful, it's magical, and it just happens, and you're like, what? We didn't even plan that. So I'm excited to be here talking about some mistakes I made, because it's hard to talk as a Native person about things that have impacted your families in recent history, such as genocide. Um, Last week, at about 9 minutes and 14 seconds into my interpretation, I misspoke. And I said that California State Parks has their fingerprints all over the genocide of Native American people. That's inaccurate. That's not a truthful statement. What I misspoke of is that it's so easy for me as a Native person, when I'm interpreting my culture and the history, the hard stuff, it's really easy to get stuff that comes out of your mouth that's a little bit wrong because you're emotional. What I did is I meant to say the state of California versus California State Parks. So I'm going to correct myself right now and say the state of California does have its fingerprints all over the historical genocide of California Native Americans and indigenous people, period. There's legislation that has been actively supported by Euro immigrants, newcomers to this land, that don't have roots or a place or responsibility, don't know the original names, don't know the original stories of this place, uprooted people. And the state of California enabled that, enacted that, supported that, compensated that. California State Parks is right now helping to heal that by having me here to have this dialogue and conversation and experience with you guys. For 30 years, there's not been a Native person in this park interpreting our side of the story. And I don't know if they ever got in trouble for saying something wrong, but I didn't get in trouble with anybody. I got in trouble with myself because when I went back and I watched, I was like, oh, I said the wrong thing. I meant to say the state of California has fingerprints of genocide on indigenous Californians. I meant to say California State Parks North Coast Redwoods District is right now on the cutting edge and is at the pinnacle of creating systemic changes that will better the world for all the guests that come to California State Parks. I'm here to correct and try to bring the integrity that I've been trained on and that I believe in, that state parks has in their mission to provide for the people, the public, everybody's, the world. So I went on that for a little bit. So I apologize to California State Parks for misspeaking, because people listen and words matter. How you frame things matter when you speak. So with that, I'm going to move into my other mistakes that I made last week. And something that I'm going to say my kids helped me learn about this week in their school. There's a homework assignment. And they were like, hyperboles. Understanding what a hyperbole is. And when I read it, I was like, what's a hyperbole? I said it wrong. Like I've never seen that word or read it. It's like, I don't know everything. And then it was like, my sons said, no, it's called hyperboles. And they explained it to me. And I was like, oh man, those aren't good things, hyperboles all the time to be using. If you resort to using hyperboles often, it shows a lack of like truly developmental and transformational dialogue. So a hyperbole is, from the dictionary off the internet, an obvious and intentional exaggeration. One. Number two, hyperbole is an extravagant statement or figure of speech not intended to be taken seriously. Hyperboles border on the fantastical or ridiculousness. Some synonyms for hyperboles are hype, overstatement, embellishment, coloring, distortion, enlargement, magnification, amplification, big talk, and embroidering. So last week I was talking about, from a place of pride, the Yurok men were state-of-the-art engineers and had sophisticated technology that they put into their canoes. In the process of my pride of my people and the culture that has survived genocide, the state of California endorsed genocide. I said some things and I used some hyperboles. Now, comparing our local area to other areas, the Yurok people do have the most sophisticated natural resource management systems to date in their culture and in their language about this geographic place. It's kind of a hyperbole. The most sophisticated. Okay? Well, technically, no other culture has been here for the time that Yurok people have been here. So it's accurate to say that they have the most experience. And through that experience, they have honored a historic, sustainable way of existence where we are, as humans, not taking more than what Mother Earth can provide us for longevity. And not just for us as humans, but all of the other spiritual beings that share this physical world with us. The birds, the insects, the trees. Yurok people had a way of living with the land that was really, really sophisticated in this area, and it has been unmatched. And I would say testify to all of the areas. Like, I'm not talking about Yurok people know the best about every place. I'm saying about right here. So understanding that, yes, there are some truths to how you can say if you have 10,000 years of existence, you have the most experience with that place. And that is a fact. And what I can't say now, I'm going to correct myself, what I did and what I hope, if there are other native communities out there, community members, especially boat makers, ocean faring, river faring, lagoon faring, water people, like people that have that relationship, I apologize. Because what I said, I think, in my last week's interpretation is that the Yurok people's canoe is the most sophisticated canoe in history. Like, if you date it back 10,000 years. The most. That's a hyperbole. The least is a hyperbole. Right? And it oftentimes borders on the fantastical and the ridiculousness. Okay? It's an exaggeration, an embellishment, a distortion. It's hype. It's an overstatement. It's embroidering, language embroidering. I like it. It's big talk. You know, I'm the best at something. I'm the least at something. You know. And that can be divisive. Very. And so the last thing as a state park interpreter that I want to do is be divisive for any communities. We want to welcome you guys, and you guys feel like this is your place to come visit and experience, and that you're safe here. And so, as a native person, I want to apologize and say, no, that's not the native way to think, and what I have been taught. And it just came out, you know. I made a mistake, and it's like there are so many seafaring, ocean-faring, indigenous boat makers across the globe that it is inaccurate for me to say the Yurok people have the best boats. They made the best boats in history. So I apologize to every other indigenous community out there that are seafaring boat makers. I understand and want to respect that you guys have technology that predates, you know, colonialization, and has sophisticated technology and spiritual technology built within their canoes and within their boats, within their water vessels. And that last week I did not mean to disrespect that. And I didn't mean to be divisive. I did want to show my pride for my people and my boat makers in this place. And I'm doing my best, and so I'm just gonna sing a real quick song for all you boat people out there. It's like an apology, but it's more like it's a good luck song. So I'm gonna be happy. I'll be trying to bring some enthusiasm, and that you have someone at North Coast Red Rivers District that supports indigenous technology, and it's very highly sophisticated. We were not uncivilized. We were very sophisticated peoples, and I should say that the Yurok canoe is one of the most sophisticated water vessels in indigenous communities. It's not the most, but it's not the least. I gotta try to build myself away from using these hyperboles in my interpretation. So Hey yeah yeah we know. Hey yeah yeah we know. Hey yeah yeah hey we hey yeah we know. No we know. Hey yeah make you make talk no way. Hey yeah oh way. Hey yeah we know. Hey yeah yeah. Hey yeah way. Hey yeah we know. Hey yeah hey yeah hey oh way. Hey yeah way. That's for all you boat people of indigenous cultures, and it's good luck. That's wishing you well. Keep doing what you're doing. Uh, Visit all of our interpreters Monday through Friday, 3 o'clock on different Facebook lives. Programs are being put out. And we have some other stuff going on that, like Instagram and other things that I'm not really part of yet, but look for us, North Coast Redwoods District. And we appreciate you. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you guys in person. And I want to thank my sons for being here to help and be my inspiration to be honest, have some integrity, speak the hard truth, and if you make mistakes, go back and correct them. And, like, be okay with saying you made a mistake. So, okay, I'm gonna X out and skip Lowry out. See you next time.